Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
Hello and welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
Look forward to an exciting episode today, Carol. We have an exciting guest.
Yes, we do.
And we've had her on the podcast before. She is dynamic. She runs a nonprofit in Texas. She has multiple locations, really setting it on fire and really doing great. She tell you, I've coached a lot of nonprofit owners over the years, and she runs it better than anyone I've ever seen. And if you want to know how to scale, how to build your business up, whether for profit or nonprofit, you're going to want to definitely listen to this episode. I think she's going to impress everybody listening too.
And let's get Kaye on the line.
Hi, Kaye. Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Oh, good. Excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
How are things?
Surprised, but excited.
Surprise! No, we love having you on. What's going on in Texas today? Is it hot down there yet?
Yeah, it's nice. Rick got in the pool last night, so
Oh, nice.
still too cold for me.
Fantastic. Well, I wanted to have you on because I tell you, you're doing good things down in Texas. You got amazing schools. I've been to all of your schools, and very impressed with the Montessori school that you put together in Texas. And you're in near the Houston area. How far from Houston? Within an hour, right?
70 miles.
70 miles from Houston. Great area. Carol and I loved it when we came down there and visited.
Yes.
And I said, I've got to have you on the podcast. You're a great client. We've worked together successfully for years now. And you're really killing it with enrollment. Your enrollment's really picking up. You're doing well. You got a lot of moving parts because you have multiple locations. I said, I got to get you on. So we're going to talk about a couple things today. First of all, why don't you just talk a little bit about your school? Brag about them a little bit. How long you been doing it? Talk a little bit about Tomorrow's Promise.
I started 29 years ago. In September, it'll be 29 years. We expanded to the second location in 2021 and the third location in 2023. And we have just recently got accredited. We'll be able to accept the TIFA vouchers. Then we are have a public pre-K partnership. We are centers of excellence. We just got voted the Community Choice Award from one of our magazines in town, and then the local newspaper we got voted Reader's Choice. We're Texas Rising Star vendors. If there's a little asterisk or star we can put behind our name, we are working towards or have gotten it.
Awesome. Yeah, accreditation is a big deal. Obviously, it helps you out with Texas with their voucher program, right? And
They're just rolling that out.
Yeah, which is nice. So good for you on that. I mean, you're a big state. A lot of people are moving to Texas. It's a big growing state right now. It's one of the states that are gaining enrollment. And you mentioned something about a big housing development going in your area too, so that's going to help you as well, right?
Yes. When I was researching to start the third location, we are not in a childcare desert, and basically all the numbers said that's stupid. And we have an interstate that runs through town, and my 2 locations are on one side of the interstate, and there's a lot of construction going on, and the town is growing more on the other side of the interstate. And I found property on the other side of the interstate. So our third location is on the other side of the interstate. and they have about 5,000 planned houses in the next couple of years to come in.
Yeah, that's great. I love your third location. I enjoyed visiting that. Um, and I could definitely see some big time growth when they get those houses built for sure there. And, as Wayne Gretzky says, always skate to where the puck is, not to where it is now, but where it's gonna be,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So that's exactly what you're doing here now is anticipating, enrollment could be a little slower until those start get developed, but when that does happen, the center will be there and ready.
We're, yeah, we're positioned to take advantage of it. There's one other center out 2 miles outside of town, so people have to kind of travel out to it, where people will be traveling into ours. And if they commute to Houston, I've got two that are kind of right there where you can skip on the highway and go to Houston. Um, and then we're part of the magic economic triangle that is happening in Texas. So between Houston, Dallas, and I believe Austin is a growth triangle, and we're getting ready to get another interstate coming through our town in the next 10 years, probably.
Wow, even
Nice.
better for growth for sure. So what made you want to go from one school to a second and third school? What made you want to go be a multi-center owner here? Like there's a lot of people out there right now that have one. They're like, I would like to, but it seems so hard. Like, what made you get over that hump?
You.
I always get the blame.
No, I mean, it was in the middle of COVID, and people are absolute bananas. I was on Zoom call after Zoom call, webinar, this, that, and the other, trying to figure out what was happening, what I needed to do to protect the children, to protect the parents. We never shut down. Um, and we did not mask inside our schools. We did keep parents out and stuff like that, but after a couple of days of the children trying to teach them to wear a mask, and they're eating them and they're throwing them around and stuff, I'm going to give people COVID if I keep trying to put masks on these children. So we did exactly what the state and our health department told us we had to do. Um, but we had very relaxed rules compared to a lot of places in the state. And in August or November, um, I did go look at another center, and was like, yeah, this is too much. Yeah, too much money.
Yep.
And then my mother-in-law passed away. And when I was driving back from that, I kind of got this little voice in my head saying, look it up. And there's a story behind the look it up that happened on what our anniversary date was, when I was buying a different building, expanding the main location. And so I knew exactly I was supposed to go look up that child care center, and they had dropped the price $50,000. And that was about what I thought it was worth. And so, um, interestingly, it was called the Children's House, which is a lot of what Montessori schools are called. And I had called when I first moved to Huntsville, and knowing God, it was probably 25 years to the day that I was in a contract to buy that children's house to attempt to turn it into a Montessori school. So, um,
That's his history. But you didn't use COVID as the excuse not to grow. You use that as a reason. You probably got a much better deal. That school would have worth a lot more now, years after COVID. So you saw an opportunity and you went for it. And that's what we try to
actually,
teach.
actually, actually, the school was doing pretty well. Um, the It had a very good reputation, everything. The person just wanted to retire and be a teacher, a professor.
That works out well too. There's
So,
opportunities out there, right? If you have one center and you're listening to this, and there's opportunities out there, you just got to go find them and make
Mhm.
sure you don't overpay. And then we'll help you with
Right.
that at Child Care Genius. That we see that a lot too. People think their businesses are worth a lot more than they actually are. So we'll work on the
yeah.
details.
Yeah,
Uh,
prior to you, I had no desire, no thoughts, nothing about having a second center. I was knee deep into one and was like, how can people do two? I don't get that at all. I close mindset,
All right,
you know.
honesty time. Hey, how many times have you cursed me in the last couple years because you did do two or three locations based on my suggestion? How many? Come on, can you count?
Actually, in some ways, I don't want to say more freedom, but in some ways, I am free to work on other things
Mhm.
to a certain extent because I've had to trust people to take over.
Amen. I was
Um,
hoping you'd say that, Kay. It's like you get your life back because when you have one school, you're married to it normally. It's all you have. I was visited a center on my trip home from Florida a couple days ago, and she has one school and she's married to it. She's there 60 hours a week, and when you have multiple schools, you can't be in multiple places at once. You have to learn to trust people, delegate, and you end up working less than you would had you only had one school.
I haven't quite got that list down yet, okay, Brian? Because the brain, um, I don't know if it's my ADHD or what, but it seems like when I remove one thing off my plate, I put five more on. So,
Yes, you are definitely an overachiever, Kay. We're working on that, but that's not necessarily a bad thing when you love what you do, right?
Mm.
no, I used to tell people I was a pinball machine, a very fancy pinball machine, because the ball gets up at the top and stuck between the bumpers and it goes dit, 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 and I was a three ball pinball machine because I had three balls going all the time. And then when the balls slow down at not and before they hit the flippers, that's when you sleep. And then the flipper would be the alarm clock. Well, then I started saying I was five pinball machines. Now I think I'm five pinball machines and a plate spinner. So that I've got somebody in there's like 10 plates I'm spinning in the background and somebody's juggling in the back. And they just keep putting more and more balls that I'm juggling.
Oh my God.
So, but I am involved in a lot of things. I'm the chamber board of directors for our county. I am in Rotary. I am in American Legion. I am in WCRC, a referral group. I'm in a leads group with the chamber. Then I do the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Um, and, you know, I, I go have breakfast for friends too. So I do a lot of different things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know you've been using AI, artificial intelligence, to help you in the hiring side. We've talked about that before. So how are you using AI to help you weed out bad hires and find good hires? I'm sure there's people on a call that would like to know this.
Well, I put in what I was looking for in AI. I'm tired of people calling in. I'm tired of people not showing up to work. I put in a lot of the pain points and then said, write a job description. And, it's kind of like, um, it's very kind of blunt. But you can go to Career Plug and look my name up, or, tomorrow's promise up and see what it says. But it's like, do you like showing up on time and things like that, kind of thing. And it's like this might be the job for you. And then from that when they apply, um, we send them an email telling them to go take the predictable success inventory assessment. And that will tell us whether they're a visionary, a synergist, a producer, or an operator, and a processor. Um, and depending on where they fall in that, then we plug their scores back in and say, how will they work for us? And I have not yet gotten my team, some of my best teachers to take it and then plug their scores in and say, hey, these are our best teachers, because we just started this. And so we have weeded out some people that it's like, no, we're not even going to bother with an interview with them. That it's identified from that they'll probably call in or not show up. So we've gotten a little smarter in who we're interviewing anyway.
I tell you, AI is pretty amazing. and it'll learn as you're going along. When you do hire somebody, you put in the resumes, and there's so much you can do with it.
Mhm.
We're teaching this now inside Childcare Genius University. And
It helped me get accreditation.
it
I
did.
mean, this was one of those things I trusted that, to let somebody else work on because it was going to be at their school to begin with. It was just going to be one school. And I think she had a lot of other things to do. And I think when she finally got to look at it, then she said to me, I can't do this. You need to do this. And so it was around Christmas time and it was due, I think, January 8th or something like that. And that thing is intense. It is very long. It is very detailed. And I took all the questions and I put it into my chat. And see, I had been talking to chat for over a year and asking it questions, HR questions, marketing questions. I mean, everything. I have run things through chat. And so it even brought up, oh, well, we're working on quality improvement about, this situation that happened at work. I'm like, no, 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 I don't want to say this happened. Accreditation. So it's like, take that part out. But it actually, and it took about 40 hours using chat, helping me write the answers because it was over 160, almost maybe 250 pages long when I got done.
Wow.
Wow.
And, it would be question A, B, C, D, and I would just sit there and put all the questions in and the answers would say, choose three of the five or something to answer. I just put the whole thing in and chat would spit me out and I would go back and tweak it and rewrite a few things here and there. But if I had had to write that thing myself, we would still be working on it.
Wow, that's great.
It's-
Way to
But
go.
it took all the things, because I mean, I've been looking for health insurance and, I don't want to um, hurt the people that need to be on Obamacare because they have health conditions, but finding an insurance that will take them has been a nightmare. And so all of that is in chat. And so my heart of what I'm looking for and how I want to take care of people and all that, it is all in chat. And so that all came out when asking it those accreditation questions as to goals and things like that.
Nice.
I love seeing, you think technology, AI is a younger person's generation, and we're not spring chickens anymore. Kay, I'll be the first
We're
to
seasoned. Our church calls us
seasoned
seasoned.
citizens. We're not that seasoned. We're slightly seasoned. But it's so
I am
nice.
older than you.
Yeah, not much. But we've got a refreshing, it's very refreshing to see people that been in the industry
Mhm.
for 25, 30 years to be able to evolve and change.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are just stuck still in the 90s and the 2000s, the way they do things in childcare. And I'm so proud of you for evolving with
Mhm.
technology and time. And that's how you keep up with competitors, young competitors that have that leg up on technology. So what I'm trying to tell the audience is don't be afraid to embrace new technology. I don't care how long you've been doing the industry.
When you have underperforming staff, how do you handle that without without with in protecting your culture and your staff morale?
That, that I don't think that was one of the questions that I highlighted.
Yeah, everybody has
Right.
underperforming staff.
And you don't want to mess up your morale and your staff culture. So how would you handle that?
So I have had a problem having some of those difficult conversations that you have to have with people at times and holding people accountable. And I've recently started working more diligently on that because I have seen that it has affected some of our culture and stuff like that. And we are in the process right now of making some of those changes. And if you let something slide, it's going to get worse.
Mhm.
Yep.
And this, I mean, we have we've fired several people in the last few weeks because they are not holding our standards.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, it's stop this now. And so I've started telling the directors, no, they need to go.
When you fire them, does that affect your culture? Does it make it better or
I'm
worse?
pretty well, and I have a teachers meeting tonight, so we'll find some of that out. But the thing is, like if you walk in and um, this teacher's sitting on the floor and not getting up and interacting with the children. Well, if you're a new person and you see that, then you're going to do the same thing. But that teacher got fired. And so now as a new person, you're going to say, oh, I thought that that's how we were supposed to act, but I see that they got fired. I'm not going to do that, you know. And they talk as much as we try to have a no gossip policy and all this kind. They talk, you
Mhm.
know. If you walk in a classroom, you ask them how many children they have, and they don't know, then you have a talk with them. They don't know it the next time, then you write them up. They don't know it after that, they need to go because they're going to leave a child in a classroom.
Mhm.
Yep. All right, let's pivot. You've gained almost 30 new enrollments in the last month or so, and that's a lot. And people are like, wow, what is she doing? It's okay. What are you doing to get these enrollments?
Actually, it's been more like the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, that's even better. Brag a
Uh,
little more. I love that. So you're averaging three new enrollments a day for the last 10 business days. How are you doing that?
um, we have really uh, spent a lot more on Facebook ads. Of course, we're advertising about the TIFA. We're,
Yeah.
that we're taking those vouchers now. We're advertising about a public pre-K partnership. Uh, we did an ad, or you might qualify because the McKenty-Vento Act for Homelessness is a lot more than what people think it is. And so we did a whole ad educating people on what that was and what they might qualify for that to come for the free pre-K. Um, then we've gotten run an ad on we're taking enrollment for babies, and we've gotten some babies come in, and then interestingly, we've gotten some new after school students. About 11 of them are after school students. So the parents woke up one day and realized that school was out and they needed to do something with them after probably having them at home for a day or two. Um, so, um, and so we're really hitting it hard in terms of trying to target some of that stuff. And then we have started doing um, Facebook posts about work anniversaries or birthdays of our staff. We're doing a, I started a Montessori Minute for moms,
Mm,
and that's been posting in all the mommy groups the last 2 Mondays.
great
It's
idea.
not an advertisement, it's just from Kaye and says, you know, um, like lay out the clothes and let your child make a choice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, Instead of saying good job, praise their effort, that you worked hard on that, kind of thing. And so that's getting a little bit, people are commenting or liking on some of those Montessori Minute things. And then our regular Facebook page, we have, we're putting pictures of the children doing things and using the Genius Box ideas. And then we've got a teacher tip for Tuesday and a fun fact Friday we've started. So we're trying to up what we're posting. We've gotten several new followers on each of our pages. And um, so, and then we've upped our Google advertising a little bit. And
Nice.
of course, everybody says they heard about us from Google, but they just because they say they heard about you from Google doesn't mean that that's how they found you.
Sure, sure.
Because
Marketing.
sometimes it takes 5 or 6 touches. Used to be 5 or 6 touches before they would do something. Now it's like 15. So they've got to see your name 15 times. Well, because everybody's saturated with the market of, this ad, this ad, this ad. So
Sure.
they have to really see your name like 15 times before it prompts them to do something.
Yeah, you're 100.
And so the more places you can be and say things and stuff like that. And I'm in a bit of I mean, we have 30,000 probably people that live in our town. So we're not a huge town, but we're not a itty bitty town either. Um, but that's why I said I posted under my name, not the schools. Um,
Yep.
but when you say Montessori, we're the only Montessori. So when you say Montessori Minute for Moms,
Hmm.
Mhm.
if
Good.
they go Google Montessori, then
Right.
so it's a subtle, not non-advertisement, but advertisement.
And way to keep a mommy group positive because sometimes they're a little negative in those groups sometimes. If things can go in, so you keep it positive. Very smart. And that just gave an idea to a lot of our people. So thank you. That's a good
Mhm.
nugget because everybody's got mommy groups in the area,
Mhm.
and you can't advertise on them, but you could sure give them tips like that or
Yeah.
refer to your blog. Put on a blog. So that's excellent information.
Well,
Uh,
and the mommy tip is it's like two or three sentences.
oh,
Mhm.
nice and easy.
So as they're scrolling and
All right, so looking 5 to 10 years ahead, what do you think the difference between successful childcare centers and those who struggle or close? What do you think? What would you say would give an advantage to somebody who's struggling to be able to survive? What do you see yourself as the winners and losers in the next 5 to 10 years?
keep abreast of what's going on in the Congress and legislature and things like that. Um, and there's several organizations that are trying to promote universal pre-K or universal childcare. And I've been kind of adamant about asking about that because a lot of times universal childcare means state,
Mhm.
doesn't mean private.
Yep.
It means they're going to come in like they did with universal pre-K and they're going to take our children and they'll put us out of business. And even in Houston, they're starting to take them as young as 18 months
Wow.
and have childcare in the schools. And they're having extended days in schools. So back before they even had this universal pre-K going on, my town did it 12 years before the state did it. And it about put us out of business. So we had to pivot. We had to figure out how to be better than free.
Mhm.
Yep.
And and when we got the chance to actually do the public pre-K partnership, we were actually full in our private program. And so um, it was just a bonus to be able to add that and help some parents out to have the offering of free um, and save them some money. Um, and so that's that's the thing is knowing what's coming because or what they're talking about. And so like when they were talking about the vouchers and stuff like that, I read all the rules and stuff and I was like, well, it's not going to serve that many children. I'm probably not going to do the accreditation. It's not worth my time and effort. And I had a friend that pushed me
Hmm.
and said, you need to do it. And she's the one that kind of helped spearhead some of it. And so she was like, you need to do it. And so I did it. And then now we've got about 10 students enrolled for the TIFA.
So you're glad you did it.
Yeah.
So you would encourage
So,
other Texas business owners to do that as well, childcare.
hmm yeah. And we were, we offer through kindergarten and we used to have a private school, but we closed it down, way before COVID because, one of my teacher of the elementary school, decided to try to start his own school using my students.
Hmm.
And after he took 50 students down to 10, I spent 2 years trying to find a teacher that wouldn't yell at the children and had some classroom management, and I had paid for Montessori training for him and stuff like that. So we just decided to close the school, that part, and just go through teaching kindergarten. Well, with this TIFA coming along now, We are now going to be offering through third grade this year, and then gradually adding a grade each year. So we're back in business to have a private school. That's another one of my new little balls or pinball machines. I'm not sure if it's a plate, a ball, or a pinball machine.
Yeah, I think Kay gets bored when you don't have 8 things going on at once. I think that I'm convinced of that now, right, Kay?
Um, there's days when I could stand to be a little bored.
Oh, all right.
So,
That's good. Well, I'll try to help you over the next year be a little more boring. Is that okay?
sure.
Nothing wrong with that. Anyway, we're going to leave it at that. I'm telling you, I am so impressed with what you've done. You're one of the hardest working people I know. One of the people that love, love, love their schools more than anything else. And I ask you all the time, do you still love what you do? Because I'd love to know that about owners. And I always get from you enthusiastically 100% yes. And it's never wavered since the day I've met you. No matter how bad of a mindset you would be in, of course, you're pretty good mindset 99% of the time.
Oh,
Better
I've had my days.
Happy days. I just don't call you on those days. Just kidding. But anyway, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy life and at Tomorrow's Promise in Texas to come on our podcast today. Share some really good nuggets. I tell you that mommy group was gold, and I think people are going to really get a lot of resonating out of that. And I want to thank you for that. We enjoyed having you today.
Yeah. Every one of us that's in this business, we have tips that can help parents.
Right.
100.
And it doesn't cost anything to share some of that knowledge, and it might get you an enrollment.
Absolutely sure. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you. I'll see you in a couple weeks in the Dominican Republic. We're excited about that.
That's October.
Yeah, that's a couple weeks.
Oh, no. I have a whole fundraiser to get ready for before that.
All right.
I mean,
I'd say a couple weeks. You know what? It's 12 weeks away. That's a couple weeks. All right.
don't send me into panic mode.
Oh, yeah, to me, it's a couple weeks. We'll see you. We'll see you at the end of September.
All right. Y'all have a great day.
Okay. Bye-bye. Boy, that was a good podcast.
Really good.
She definitely knows how to get enrollment in 30 new kids in 2 weeks.
I know.
Guess that they got something working with their marketing for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to have it. You see people, sometimes they have enrollment struggles over the years, and when you see things really pop in, it's so exciting for me as a coach, for sure to see. So, if you're struggling in your childcare business and you need help, we're here for you. Just go to our website at childcaregenius.com, go to the coaching tab and say, I'd like a free coaching call. You can get on a coaching call with either me or one of my coaches. Just go into that website, and we're here to help you. There's no cost or obligation. We just don't like seeing people suffer or struggle in any area of your business. We could help you out. So this concludes this episode of the Childcare Genius podcast. Thank you so much for taking time out of your life to spend some time with us.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss future episode of the Childcare Genius podcast. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.